Factoids.
Well, now it's over a decade since Jamie Dornan made his movie debut starring in Marie Antoinette, and since then we've seen him in films, TV dramas, set in the 21st century like the 50 Shades of Grey movies and The Fall. Plus, he went back to the 1940s for the film Anthropoid, which was based on the real-life Operation Anthropoid in World War II. And from this Wednesday, we get to see Jamie in BBC2 drama Death and Nightingales, which is set in the 19th century rural Ireland. It's the first visit for Jamie Dornan. Yeah!
Hello, thank you.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Now, this is a three-parter. It's based on the novel by Eugene McCabe, which is about Beth Winter's. It's her 23rd birthday. The book is set across 24 hours. It's an interesting concept, actually. And this new adaptation is 3-hour-long episodes, right?
Yep.
What does that mean, set in real time? Explain that to me.
Well, it's funny because actually Alan Cubitt, who adapted Eugene McCabe's novel, he created The Fall, so I've worked with him a lot, obviously, over the years. At one point, many years ago, he mentioned this to me, that he was going to try to make it as a movie. It's not a long novel. It's the only novel Eugene McCabe ever wrote, and I think it's not particularly long. And there is something to be said to see it as a movie, but then he sort of got talking to BBC, and then it became this idea of seeing it as a three-parter. But actually speaking to him again this morning about the idea of it could almost play as a movie. You know, we could do a 3-hour movie.
The trailer looks absolutely brilliant, and it's set in Fermanagh. It's 1885, and Beth is trying to escape from her controlling stepfather, Billy. You are a character called Liam Ward. Charming young man.
There we go.
That is you, isn't it? I mean, it's perfect casting, ain't it?
I'm not sure.
It could either have been you or Timo.
In fact, it was down to the two of us. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. No one's quite sure why they chose him. But it's an interesting tale, this. Presumably you knew the novel. Had you read it a long time ago?
You're wrong, Tim. I actually didn't know. I probably should have. Obviously, for a small island, a lot of great literature comes out of Ireland, and I'm privy to a lot of it, I think. But no, I didn't know it. And it was a total journey of discovery for me, to be honest, getting to read the book, obviously, in my research for doing it.
Can you take us through a little bit of the tale, a little bit of the story, but obviously without giving too much away?
Yeah, so we meet Beth Winters on the eve of her 23rd birthday, and we have a sense that she's about to make a very big decision. And we don't quite know at the beginning of the episode 1 what that decision is. So then the whole first episode, I'm going to try not to ruin too much here, sort of flashes back to bring us to that point to see the origins of getting to this decision that she's making on her birthday. In that flashback sequence, which is a lot of the episode filling in the blanks, she meets Liam Ward, who's this relatively mysterious, still quite young man who comes and basically uproots her whole life.
Mysterious about him.
The beard, mostly. And he's got a big hat.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
A beard and a big hat.
I must be mysterious.
It's very mysterious. The big hat always does it for me.
Well, it's hard to know, which is obviously a very interesting thing to play as an actor. You don't quite know where his intentions lie.
Yeah, you don't quite know if he's good or bad.
Exactly, yeah. And that ambiguity is always exciting to tackle, you know, and anything that he does that is good and seemingly kind might be a manifestation of something much darker.
There's also a political aspect to the story, isn't there?
It's hard to set a drama in the north of Ireland without there being a political slant on it. But yes, that very much plays into a very interesting time in Ireland, the end of the 19th century, and still English rule, and a lot of people not too happy about that and had enough.
No, and it's at a time when things are coming to a climax, I suppose.
Absolutely, and the beginnings of a much bigger, broader, more terrifying movement that went on after it.
How about yourself? How did you get into acting? Why? And all of that kind of stuff.
I think you have to have a bit of madness to want to do it. Feel that you can do it, or you've something to offer, and you're constantly questioning that. Even if you're gainfully employed, you're still questioning why you're doing it.
Or how long it's going to last.
How long it's going to last. And a lot of people say that, but that's genuinely, that's the truth. And you're sort of trying to prove something to yourself and the people who support you with every job you're doing, I think. I just very early on in my life knew that I didn't want to sit in an office. I just knew that about yourself. I think a lot of people know that about yourselves. That can lead to all kinds of different paths. That doesn't mean you have to go into creative arts of any kind. I mean, you could go and help raise lion cubs in Africa, whatever, you know. But I'd done a bit of acting at school and outside of school, and it was something that I'd always enjoyed. But it's one thing to enjoy it and another to go, I think I could get paid for this, because it's so hard. You know, the percentage of actors working is tiny.
I know,
you know,
yeah, absolutely. What was your big break then?
I did Marie Antoinette, this Sofia Coppola movie. It was my first ever audition. I'd just got an agent the week before. My first audition.
And you got the part?
Well, it was very misleading though, because Sophia, I mean, she just won Academy Award for Lost in Translation. She was very much the buzzy director to be working with. And I thought, oh, well, this is easy. You know, first one out of the blocks, got it. I'm doing this amazing job. We're shooting in Versailles, in Paris. Incredible cast, Oscar-winning director. And I thought, this is going to be a fun life. And then sort of basically didn't work for 8 years.
Oh.
yeah. And then, reality bites.
And then the fall happened.
Well, basically, not far off. Yeah.
Let's just very, very quickly, because I know you're here for another reason, but tell me about A Private War. This is about Marie Colvin, yeah?
Yeah.
This is coming out when?
I think in the UK it's coming out at the beginning of February.
Okay.
But it's been out in the States for a few weeks, and I've just come back from LA. I've been there for a month, and very proud of it. It's had an incredible reception. It's nice to be in a movie that gets received well. It doesn't always happen. It also feels like a very timely movie. You know, it's at a time when journalism is under threat in a pretty massive way, and the type of journalism that Marie Colvin and Paul Conroy, who I depict in the movie, were doing is sort of dying breed, and these people who really stick around and get access to these places and risk literally everything to tell the truth of these war-torn places. And Marie died in Syria in 2012, and since that, you know, we're sort of becoming desensitized to Syria a little bit. People get a bit bored, they're still talking about Syria, but it's still
raging.
Assad's regime is still massively raging, and since Marie died in 2012, over 500,000 civilians have died since that. That's an astonishing figure. It's awful.
Okay, just going back to this piece, it's called Death and Nightingales. Just give us a kind of a sentence, an overview as what people might get from it.
It's a very dense, rich story about a fairly dysfunctional family and about love and betrayal and people taking enormous risks for what they deem to be love. But it's definitely got a darkness at the heart of it as well. It's very gripping. I don't know how else to say it. Gripping.
Perfect. You can see Jamie Dornan in Death and Nightingales starting this Wednesday evening on BBC2 at 9 p.m. And it's very nice to have you on the programme, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, and hopefully see you next year for that other movie. Yeah,
thanks a million.
Okay. It's Jamie Dornan, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.